Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Coming at y'all back to back with another video. Yeah, I'm coming at y'all back to back. I'm staying locked in. It's summertime, and I know summertime is a chance for a lot of content creators like myself to win. But anyway, I was just wanting to chat with y'all. I got a question for y'all because as we all know, when it comes down to Death Row Records was like an empire back in the 90s, back in the early 90s, the mid 90s, the late 90s. Death Row Records was an empire, you know what I mean? And this this CEO, which he's currently incarcerated right now, doing time in prison, facing a life sentence for a hit and run incident when they was filming the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. But this CEO, this businessman, like before he became like a CEO, before he became a businessman, before he became a boss of Death Row Records, like he used to be a bodyguard, and before he became a bodyguard, it seems like he wanted to be a professional football player because he played football when he was in high school, and he also played football when he was in college too. It seems like he wanted to be a professional football player, but with football not working out, he turned to the music business. But anyway, I was wanting to chat with y'all. Was Suge Knight a menace to society? Yeah, my fellow Death Row Records fans, let's chat. Let's have a discussion about this. Do y'all feel like with Suge Knight, with him forming Death Row Records, and then it's like with him getting into trouble, like when Tupac ended up getting killed, it's like Death Row Records just started to go downhill, and Suge Knight, it's like he stayed in and out of prison. I mean, Suge Knight is doing time in prison right now. Suge Knight is he's facing a life sentence because the situation with P Diddy almost got away with everything, but it seems like with Suge Knight, they're not letting him get away with nothing. But yeah, do y'all feel that Suge Knight was a menace to society? Let's have a discussion about this. I'm gonna give you my answer like I do as always. Do I feel that Suge Knight was a menace to society? It kinda seemed like he was. I mean, Suge Knight, he did create an empire with the Death Row Records. Yeah, Suge Knight created an empire, you know what I mean, with Death Row Records, with him signing Snoop Dogg, with him signing the Dog Pound, with him signing Tupac, because yeah, Suge Knight, he pretty much like bailed Tupac out of jail. I mean, if it wasn't for Suge Knight, Tupac would have still been incarcerated. But yeah, like Suge Knight, like it do kind of seem like he was like a menace to society. But don't get me wrong, Death Row Records, he created an empire. He created an empire. He created a legacy. Yeah, Dr. Dre, because that's the thing. Dr. Dre and the DOC, they were like the co-owners of Death Row. Suge Knight was like the main boss. Suge Knight was like the head guy. Suge Knight was like the main man of Death Row. And when Dr. Dre had left Death Row, like Suge Knight told him, you're not touching my money. The money goes to me from what it showed in the NWA biopic, and Dr. Dre told him, you can have it, you can have everything. Like Dr. Dre told him, he's done with Death Row, and Dr. Dre ended up leaving Death Row, and he ended up forming his own label, Aftermath Entertainment. And with Dr. Dre forming Aftermath, he ended up signing Eminem, and it seems like Suge Knight became jealous of that because Eminem's former bodyguard was talking about something about Suge Knight sent goons to try to like kill Eminem. And they also said that Suge Knight showed up on the music video set when they were filming the music video for 50 Cent's song In the Club. And they said that that nobody was scared. Like they were saying that Eminem wasn't afraid of Suge Knight, and they were also saying that 50 Cent wasn't afraid of Suge Knight either. They said that Suge Knight showed up to the music video set with some Mexicans, and I think they said he was smoking a cigar. I don't know, but yeah, it do kind of seem like Suge Knight was a menace to society, but yeah, I mean, Suge Knight, he definitely created a legacy. He created an empire. You know what I mean? When it comes down to Death Row Records, if you want to talk about a legendary record label, I would definitely say that Death Row Records is definitely a legendary hip hop label because during its prime, Death Row, from my understanding, they did have a distribution with Interscope, and you see with Dr. Dre leaving Death Row, forming his own label, Aftermath Entertainment, he still had a distribution with Interscope too. And just like when Dr. Dre has signed Eminem to Aftermath and Eminem formed his own label, Shady Records, all of that right there had a distribution with Interscope too. But yeah, it does seem like Suge Knight was kind of like a menace to society. But yeah, my fellow Death Row Records fans, let's chat. Let's have a discussion about this. Do y'all feel that Suge Knight was a menace to society? Let's have a discussion about this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share, like the video. And again, my new song, The Matrix Part 3, it's on my YouTube channel and it's also on my SoundCloud. Y'all can follow me on SoundCloud at Wally G. Let's run it up. Let's blow it up. Love y'all.